Tonight at 6, Indianapolis city leaders are now responding to more claims of sexual misconduct within Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett's administration.
Reports published today say at least 2 other city employees harassed women who work for the city, and all of this comes weeks after similar allegations surfaced about former Deputy Mayor Thomas Cook.
Our Emily Longnecker joining us live now in studio. And Emily, obtained the email that the mayor sent to city county workers today.
Yeah.
Explain a little bit about what it says and what the message is.
Yeah, well, here it is, guys. And it is the response to city county employees about this Indy Star article that talked about these new allegations against 2 other city employees. Now, in this email, Mayor Hogsett reveals the city's Human Resources Department is currently investigating 6 allegations of harassment, with a 7th investigation leading to the firing of a city employee yesterday.
In his email to city employees, Hogsett writes, quote, "A staff administrator in DMD, that's the Department of Metropolitan Development, was, quote, terminated for violating the city's sexual harassment policy." The email doesn't name that staff administrator. It goes on to say, quote, "Regardless of what may be reported in the media, the city and our HR professionals will protect the confidentiality of those involved, including witnesses who agree to provide evidence during any HR investigative process." Also in the email, the mayor says on July 31st, he held what he called, quote, "a frank discussion" with members of his cabinet and was approached by, quote, "an individual who had a complaint of misconduct against a former employee of the city who had resigned in 2023. The mayor said in the email a complaint was filed and that Human Resources moved forward in a confidential manner to, quote, "protect all parties involved." We reached out to the mayor about today's email. His response reads, quote, "We are in the process of continuing to foster a safer, better workplace culture where our employees know how to identify and report issues of misconduct and feel safe that their identities and information will remain confidential in doing so. It is of critical importance to me that every person who serves our community in the city-county enterprise understands they can report inappropriate behavior of any kind without fear of retribution, and that all investigations will be conducted in a confidential manner."
Now, last month, the mayor signed an executive order requiring all city and county employees to have sexual harassment training. Some members of the Indianapolis City County Council have called for an investigative committee to look into how the allegations against former Deputy Mayor Thomas Cook were handled. A decision about creating that committee and who will sit on that committee will be made next week.
All right, Emily, thank you so much. City Councilman Brian Mowry issued a response about reports of more alleged sexual harassment within the city.
Mowry said those reports showed what Mowry called systemic problems within the mayor's administration. The statement also referenced reports that the culture inside the administration was toxic and sexual harassment was common.
In his statement, Councilman Mowry said, quote, "If this is true, it is completely unacceptable and the mayor must be held accountable."
Tonight at 6, an IMPD officer officially faces charges for child sex crimes. Kamal Bola is still behind bars tonight at the Hendricks County Jail on 7 counts, ranging from sexual misconduct with a minor to child molestation, voyeurism, and obstruction of justice. Bola made his first court appearance today. That's where a judge ordered a $30,000 bond and enhanced pretrial supervision. He's expected back in court next month. His trial is set for November. Bola is currently suspended from the department, and the police chief has recommended his termination.
More than 30 years ago, investigators believe that someone likely left a body in this field. It's just south of Main Street, the exit off of along I-65 on the south side in Greenwood. And now the latest DNA testing and genealogy research have positively identified that man.
Tonight, Rich Nye shares the new details we now know tonight about Michael Benjamin Davis from South Carolina.
The area where the bones were found is now a golf course, which sits right next to Interstate 65. But 30 years ago, this was a farm field.
The kids that lived at this house here
Yeah.
were out back playing in the field, and they had found some bones.
The bones were found in April 1993. New DNA testing and genealogy research started last year led to Michael Benjamin Davis. His cousin came to Greenwood to claim his remains.
Michael struggled with mental health issues and trying to find his place in this world. And so in 1988 was the last contact that our family had with him, and the last we had heard, he was working with a carnival group in Midwest. That's all we knew.
This is the last photo family has of Michael, who they called Benny. He was 15 at the time. Investigators believe he died in 1990 or 91 in his mid-20s.
They had cadaver dogs, the police, but they scoured this entire thing for a week, and luckily we're able to find 70% of them.
Yeah.
So
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Investigators still have no idea how Davis died. In Greenwood, Rich Nye, 13 News.
So when it comes to forensic investigations here in Marion County, there is new state-of-the-art equipment and a new facility to get the job done more efficiently.
Today, 13 News got a unique inside look at the new home for the Forensic Services Agency and also the County Coroner's Office. This is a project overdue, 15 years in the making. And the Coroner's Office tells us right now it couldn't come at a better time.
So on average, they conduct more than 4,000 death investigations every year, visiting thousands of scenes to dig into the forensics.
Because we touch so many families in Marion County, it is important that we have all of the equipment, that we have the space in order to do that efficiently, effectively, and collaboratively with other agencies that we work with, such as law enforcement, prosecutor's office, the crime lab. So all of our agencies being able to come together with all of the things that we have in this facility are just magnificent.
The coroner's office moves into this new $25 million facility tomorrow. The goal is to resume death investigations and autopsies by Monday.
Meantime, an Indianapolis animal shelter now breaks the news, not taking in any new dogs or cats after a dog that was in their care recently died.
Our Karen Campbell shares what happened and how that staff tonight is talking about some new ways to conduct their intake process.
The death of a stray dog brought to Indianapolis Animal Care Services on South Harding Street by animal control officers has raised concerns about the spread of the illness. The dog died 24 hours after it became ill.
That's very sudden, that's very unexpected, and just because of how rapidly that went, we thought it was best to send out samples for testing.
It prompted an investigation into possible causes and prevention methods. The shelter has since halted new intakes.
Just to make sure we could provide care and potentially prep for any necessary medical care for any animals that are still there and just focus on emergency only intakes.
Meaning animals that are injured or pose a threat to public safety. Workers also evaluating the intake process, where those surrendering an animal must make an appointment and fill out a form with detailed information about their pet. And when it comes to those that animal control officers bring in,
space gets taken up at the shelter pretty quickly. Just taking them in and taking them in, it's, again, it leads to overcrowding, and when we're overcrowded, it is more easy for bacteria and viruses and things to spread among dogs.
In a shelter, Olson says, that's already overcrowded, understaffed, and under-resourced.
How can we build a more community-focused response to helping strays find their homes?
Forever homes to give animals a chance to live long and happy lives. Karen Campbell, 13 News.
Olson says that shelter should have the test results showing the cause of the dog's death soon. Angela?
Scott, a few showers and storms possible tomorrow. I'll have the local timeline and a cool down coming.
It has been a busy day out at the Colts complex. The team is getting ready for their regular season opener.
Tonight, Jonathan Taylor weighs in on his work with Anthony Richardson to make big plays in the backfield. But first, a green light. A downtown historic building replaced with a hotel.
We've got the timeline for this massive project across from Gainbridge Fieldhouse after clearing a final hurdle. That story's next.